is very substantial, because it put an end to a protracted war. And then when the Bangsamoro government was established, finally in March 2019, that's another big milestone. Why? Because it signals already the start of the implementation of the BOL. 17 years of negotiation since 1997 is not a joke. So, 20 years of negotiating peacefully, patiently, with the MILF and the government is actually one of the milestones also. So that led to the Bangsamoro Organic Law and the establishment of this Bangsamoro government. So that's probably one of the milestones that I could say, the end of war, the start of peace and peace building.
We have enacted, I think, 70 legislative and I would like to mention only, first of all, the parliamentary rules and procedure that is necessary in order to move forward. We have approved our parliamentary rules and procedure that will guide not only the present parliament but the future regular parliament. Now, of course, as mandated by the Bangsamoro Organic Law, we have already approved the transition plan submitted by the Chief Minister. This is a mandate. Today we have approved the Human Rights Commission Office. It's already law now. Of course, the 2020 expenditure program, we cannot move without the budget. So, I would like also to mention the Attorney General's office, who will act as counsel for the government. And we have just approved the socio-economic planning system. We have also enacted a law creating a women's commission.
Nagawa natin na maalis yung 8,000 ghost employees. So, malaki na yun sa amin na medyo nabawasan yung mga corruption. Pati sa normalization comes transformation. Transforming the camps into a peaceful and they call productive community. Our program there and projects are socio-infra, livelihood, and we have the arts alternative learning system, of which this alternative learning system is the best among the programs, because our people in the camps, most of them do not know how to read and write. So our focus there in the camps, so they were able to read and write numbers, so they can now go down and can read the signs, the different names of such store here, such mall, and then they can also earn their livelihood.
So una ko pong pinasang bills natin, batas natin sa Bangsamoro, yung sultanate po, ay malaki ang may tutulong nila regarding sa mga rido. Pangalawa po dun sa sultanate, yung livelihood program po. Una po yung ginawa natin na resolution bill na sa mga poverty po natin ay meron po sila mga utangan o pwede sila mag-business para sila po ay makareaksyon man na para sa pamumuhay nila para din sa Bangsamoro.
my office, the first thing that we did is to draft a cabinet bill creating the office for settler communities as provided for in the BOL. So far, it has passed first and second reading in the Parliament. Another thing that we focus on are concerns of the orphans of war. Now that I am with the Parliament, I passed the resolution creating an office for the widows and orphans of war. So it is referred now to the Office of Ministry of Social Services. And corresponding funding was provided.
Kung masabi kong isang milestone sa side namin dito sa office na isubmit namin yung aming IP law kasi isa doon sa priority eh. Kaya nga lang, ito siya hindi pa talaga na-deliberate sa plenary. Isa mahalagang yun kasi ito yung pinaka talaga dream ng IP na magkaroon ng batas similar doon sa IPRA na kumikilala doon sa mga rights na nandyan sa Bangsamoro Parliament. So yun yung magpapatupad nun, yung batas na yun, yung IP law.
That we could say is that we have advocated for women, and because of that, we are one of the principal authors of the Bangsamoro Women Commission. Our office has a very important role in that task because we really lobbied and pushed for the passage, not just in the Parliament but also in the government itself. So we are happy that we successfully hurdled the challenge, and this is one of the primordial institution that has been established right next to the Bangsamoro Human Rights Commission.
Milestones na i-consider ko na may ipasa kong resolution is about honorary rehabilitation. This is a calling for the Bangsamoro government to provide financial assistance for the Marawi siege survivors from Ground Zero. The intention is for the purpose of repair and reconstructing their damaged houses.
The milestone is really having the MILF lay down their arms and sit in the Parliament, and instead of fighting the government, they're there observing the process, they're there learning how to run a government, and they are also learning all this parang one day at a time. The leadership of the MILF join the government, sit in the Parliament, and the youth now are looking at the democratic process as it may be slow. Ang daming complaints sa akin, but I always tell them na this is a democratic process and this is how we should endure and we should persevere.
The approval of the recruitment agency is that recruitment agency act for 2020 is very significant and important for the Ministry of Labor and Employment. So isa po yun major na kompo natin sa Ministry of Labor and Employment yung Recruitment Agency Act to regulate the local and international recruitment agencies operating in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region and Muslim Mindanao to prevent the illegal recruitment in the area. So
for me, the most significant is number one, the institutionalization of moral governance. You know, this was the first time wherein members of the Parliament were made to swear before the Holy Quran that we will do our mandates in accordance with the moral prescriptions of our religion, whether you are Muslim or Christian. The passage of the approval of the transition plan, which became the basis for the passage of the Bangsamoro Appropriations Act.
is in itself a challenge. No? So since this is a new form of government, we aim to make the most out of it for the benefit of our constituents. So we hope that we will pass priority legislations within the deadline that we've set. And we hope that we will be able to create offices also that are necessary in effective governance, and also enact budget that are responsive to the needs of our people. No? And we want also to instill moral governance in all levels of bureaucracy to the public servants in BARMM. And ultimately, syempre, gusto natin, we want to be worthy of the stage, which is BARMM.
Definitely, the elections in the Bangsamoro is different from the election from the national government. It's a national government, as I said, it is a unitary system. Ang parliamentary elections dito sa Bangsamoro ay hindi siya katulad ng sa national government. Challenge yan. Kailangan din nating i-change yung mindset ng mga ating mga electorate, mga voters natin, kung ano yung parliamentary elections. Yun.
Ito yung first time talaga natin to establish ang parliament dito sa Pilipinas. Mahirap po maghanap ng role model unless na pumunta ka sa ibang bansa, mag-research ka ng mabuti pa. But in the end, we should develop our own based sa context ng Philippine Constitution, Philippine administrative laws. Kailangan natin magawa ng sarili natin. So, it will be the initial challenge para dun sa mga first who will set the rules and traditions for the parliament.
How we could be work together. The 79 members of the Bangsamoro Transitional Authority, that they have to work together in order to translate all those mandated under Republican 11054 into a viable autonomous region with good governance, and at the same time that we see to it that it will be inclusive. Everybody would be part of that, and be able to contribute their part to that establishment of the new autonomous region. So, form of government, and we need people to help us in establishing this new form of government in the BARMM.
When we assess the three departments last year, I thought to myself, there are the very overwhelming challenges in handling three departments. What I did, I created the TWG from the three departments, and I lead the TWG from three departments, and we are discussing all implementations, all challenges we are facing. Actually, the challenge was how can we shift the mindset of those bureaucracies of three departments to think one ministry. Even about to end the year, they are still thinking their own departments. This is lies the challenge with me, how I can conciliate those decisions, become one as Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, and Agrarian Reform.
I think kaya nga, if you have very high expectations, in 3 years' time, you're able to address poverty in the sense na aakyat kami in all the human development indices, that may not be, 3 years may not be enough. As I said, multifaceted yung iba-ibang problema namin, at more than 3 years ang kakailangan to do that. But I think if our expectation is for the BTA to set up the structure, to set up the mechanism, to set up yung human resources that will be ready by 2022 when we have the regular Bangsamoro government, then I think it's a reasonable time para po magawa namin yung ilang mga sistema, ilang mga struktura needed so that we can have elections by 2022, set up hopefully principled and genuine political parties, and change the mindsets of people so that we work together kahit na we have also competing interests, but still looking at the bigger picture. No? I think that it's a reasonable time.
We should be united. That is the most important thing. That regardless of tribal groupings, tribal differences and political persuasions, we have to unite. 2022, I would like to see that our people will live in peace and prosperity.
The vision is number one, that the people are able to elect competent and responsive leaders. So that's genuine and meaningful democracy when it is really when the people have a better capacity to select responsive leaders. But although it's more complicated than that, and that's why my vision is that there is a functioning, genuinely principled political parties, wherein people merge together and to work for the truth.
Well, we will be working in the prevention and countering violent extremism in the future. We hope we can achieve some PBD. This government is working for the good of all, and everybody is given a chance to participate in the peace process. So we will attend to this, prevention and countering violent extremism till we achieve peace and order in the area, and our rehabilitation and development spearheaded by the Chief Minister will be in place properly, inshallah.
And I think the framework for the new government has been clearly defined and provided in the law. There is an effort to minimize at least the politics of the past and bring in a politics of idea, the politics of advocacy, the politics of programs. That is why in the law, effectively usher in a process of election that will definitely give the people the chance to elect the real representative is a challenge and at the same time a better hope